This is 16 WAPT News at 5.
Good morning. Hope you're having a great start to your Wednesday. It's May 14th. I'm Marcus Hunter.
And I'm Keegan Fox. This morning, the Rankin County School District will meet to discuss plans to change autism education in the school district. And it's something some parents are upset about. National Veterans Affairs officials are looking into numerous reported problems at the Jackson VA. We have details on their visits.
And let's take a look live at our downtown Capitol Tower Skycam overlooking downtown at Jackson. Some showers are on the radar this morning. Will it be a Wednesday washout? Here's meteorologist Brittany Bell and weather first.
Well, we actually started out early this morning with some spotty showers and a few strong storms. Most of that rainfall has pushed off to our north right now. On live Storm Shield 16 operator, we do have some really light isolated showers moving throughout portions of Hazelhurst and a light batch of rain pushing throughout Rolling Fork and Anguilla early this morning. But for the most part, things will be dry this morning with a slight chance for a spotty shower. Better chances for rain will arrive mostly throughout the afternoon hours. Switching over to our maps, temperatures getting off to a warm start once again. It's 70 degrees in Jackson, 70 in Macomb, and 66 degrees in Natchez. We do have a cold front currently moving through the state. You can see how cool the air is behind that front, down to 59 degrees currently in Greenville. So as that front pushes through, we'll have a chance for some widespread showers and storms later on this afternoon, with highs only topping out in the mid-70s. Now, some of those storms later today could be on the strong side, mostly between 1 and 5 p.m. More details on that coming up.
New from overnight, two 18-wheelers in a car crash in Simpson County. CCWAPT's Andrew Kinsey, he is at UMC in Jackson, where two people had to be taken. Right, Andrew?
Marcus, 26-year-old and a young male are recovering here at UMC from their injury sustained in this crash. The scene so severe, emergency officials had to use the jaws of life. Take a look at this map. It shows you exactly where this took place on Highway 49 southbound, just north of Mendenhall. Troopers responded to the scene shortly after 10 o'clock. When they arrived, they found a Kia that had rammed into the back of an 18-wheeler. A young boy inside that car had to be cut from that vehicle. Both he and that 25-year-old driver were airlifted here to UMC. Again, this is where they're being treated for their injuries. There was a second 18-wheeler involved in this crash. That driver tried to avoid the accident, went across the northbound lanes and crashed into some trees. We're told the drivers of both 18-wheelers are not injured. The cause of this wreck remains under investigation. Live in Jackson at UMC, Andrew Kinsey, 16 WAPT News.
All right, thank you, Andrew. Now, Tiffany, Brandon police, they're still looking for a man who was spotted carrying an axe near an elementary school.
Yeah, Marcus, this incident took place near Rouse Elementary School in Brandon. You can see deputies searching for the man here in this video. Now, we're told a deputy spotted a man swinging an axe over his head while walking near the school Monday morning. When the deputy approached him, they fought and the man took off. Rankin County Sheriff Brian Bailey says they're setting up cameras to see if they can spot him.
The last time he was seen by the officer running away, he was unarmed, didn't have anything on him. And we did get our tracking dogs out there, and they had a good track for a while and then lost it.
Being that it's right here where my son goes to school, it's kind of very stressful and scary, and it's just like, really? Like, why is he not found?
Sheriff Bailey says they'll keep extra deputies near the school until they find him. New from overnight, Greenville police are investigating a deadly stabbing at an elementary school. It happened Tuesday in the parking lot of Sutrig Elementary. Police say someone stabbed employee 43-year-old Willie Dean III. The school was put on lockdown. His body will be sent to Jackson for an autopsy. Police say they have a suspect in custody. Well, back in the capital city, Jackson's VA Medical Center is getting some national attention again at Keegan.
Tiffany, 16 WAPT's Tammy Estoic went to the VA to talk to some of D.C.'s top players after complaints over the hospital's conditions.
We had a time to ask some very difficult questions, probing questions that needed answers.
Tuesday, Chairman Jeff Miller of the House Veterans Affairs Committee sat down with hospital leadership. The goal, to find out who's accountable for the problems and who's going to fix them.
Transparency and accountability is critical.
Employee complaints include poor sterilization procedures, understaffing, and misdiagnosed cases, something veteran Eric Heron says he's heard from friends.
I've got several folks I've talked to about undiagnosed cancer, buried one this past Saturday.
Eric served our country for about 40 years. He says he doesn't use the VA, but came Tuesday for those who do.
Unfortunately, it's easier within the VA to get a bonus than it is to get fired or to be penalized. And that's not right.
But when you say accountability, what do you really mean by that? Like, what's going to happen to that VA employee, for instance, that's not scheduling that appointment in a timely fashion?
Well, I'll tell you this. If what they did is criminal, they should go to jail. That's a whole lot of accountability right there, especially if it led to the death or serious harm of a veteran.
Jackson's VA has had problems before. In June of 2013, Joe Battle, the hospital's director, worked to change the perception of the facility. He said the hospital no longer deserved the negative headlines and had resolved its past issues.
At the heart of this is our veterans in Mississippi are so important.
Chairman Miller says he wrote a letter to President Obama calling for a bipartisan commission to look at what he calls a crisis.
I think all of America is paying very close attention right now about what's happening within the Department of Veterans Affairs. They want answers, and I don't believe that they're going to wait a long time to get them.
Now, along with that letter Miller drafted to the president, he says he's drafting his own legislation to fix some of the problems that he sees. Now, one of those pieces of legislation would stop hospital executives from getting bonuses for 5 years. Another bill, potential bill, would give the administration more power to fire employees. In Jackson, Tammy Eswick, 16 WAPT News.
The Rankin County School Board is meeting this morning to talk about a plan to change autism education in the school district. Parents of autistic children say they were told the specialized classes for autistic students were being eliminated because of budget cuts. But the school district says it has plans to enhance its autism program. The school board meets this morning at 7:30.
A prominent Jackson attorney who died in an ATV accident will be laid to rest next week. Precious Martin died Sunday night after crashing a four-wheeler. He was riding with his 10-year-old son. His son survived the crash. Visitation for Precious Martin is Monday from 1 to 7 p.m. at Lakeover Funeral Home. His funeral is next Tuesday at 2 p.m. at New Hope Baptist Church.
In Commitment 2014, several new candidates will enter the race today for the Ward 6 seat on the Jackson City Council. Daniel Myers and Rashad Chrysler are expected to make announcements today to try and fill the seat left by now Mayor Tony Yarber. Also, business owner Robert Amos has filed qualifying papers to run in the June 17th special election. Other candidates are Beverly Wallace, Dennis Sweet IV, and Tyrone Hendricks. Now to the latest from Nigeria, where the government says video of some of the 276 kidnapped schoolgirls is authentic.
Yeah, 16 WAPT's Hallie Jackson shows us more than 50 of the girls have been identified by relatives and teachers.
Marcus and Keegan, today Australia announced it's taking steps to ban as a terrorist organization Boko Haram, the group responsible for the kidnapping in Nigeria and other attacks there. The U.S. is pushing for United Nations Security Council sanctions. An American surveillance plane is flying over Nigeria as officials here also consider using drones in a search area about the size of New England to find the missing girls. The Nigerian government says it's open to all options right now. Those options could include negotiations with Boko Haram or a military operation with the help of other countries. In Washington, I'm Hallie Jackson, 16 WAPT News.
Representatives from several nations, including Nigeria, will participate in a security summit in Paris Saturday to discuss the threat of Boko Haram.
We have an update on the Fugate 4, the big milestone for the surprise quadruplets born in Jackson, coming up.
And as we head to break, here is a live look at our Hilton Skycam posted at Interstate 55 and County Line Road. Brittany Bell has your Wet Wednesday forecast. We'll be right back.